Hello and welcome back to BlockTalk, the show where the guests are made up and the mods don't matter. I'm your host with the most, Green Phlegm, and Draconic Evolution is balanced because it takes effort. My next guest I'm sure you're familiar with. Chances are if you've played a mod pack, you've played one of his mods. Please give a warm welcome to the stage, Vazkii.
Hello. I think my game just crashed.
No,
No,
really?
it's back. Okay, it froze. Okay, it's back. This actually keep this in the final recording. This is hilarious.
Hello. Welcome. Welcome in. That was That's the most unique intro that we've had. I messed up, you messed up. This is great.
I'm here and I'm already fucking everything up. Brilliant.
Hey, it wouldn't be a good podcast without it.
Basically.
Well, how are you? Who are you? What are you known for?
I'm Vazkii. I'm known for some mod called Fomic Tinkerer.
Damn it, that was my joke at the beginning.
Stole your joke.
God, no.
Oh no, get for real. I make Britannia, Asai, Quark, Akashic Tome, Morpho Tool, Patchouli, and I actually really made Fomic Tinkerer, unfortunately. Right. But yeah, that did happen.
many years ago.
Yes, we don't talk about that, even though I'm talking about it, but we don't talk about that, okay?
Well,
but yes, it happened.
Well, I mean, you've been around long enough that I think most people know sort of you. So I wanted to more go into not just the basic, surface level stuff. You approach your modding in a very unique way, and that's why I wanted to have you on. You approach it basically like I imagine like a game designer would, because you sort of have a lot of aesthetics that I would ascribe to actual like game design. You know what I mean? What I know you're sort of like you like to meme a lot, but you seem to put a lot of effort into your mods as time went on. What was the evolution there?
Well, here's the thing. I've been doing this for 8 years this month.
Mm-hmm.
Last month, actually.
8 years?
I started on April 11.
Wow.
And then I quit for a bit, and I came back on September 11. But the first mod I made was on April 11.
Okay.
So I've been doing this for 8 years. So I've had a lot of time to understand how what I do results in what people do with the things I do. So, for example, you have Fomic Tinker, which you can see as my major breakthrough mod. Like none of the others before that really have any relevance nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
With that, I just basically threw everything at the window. Like, oh, I want this thing. Boop, throw it in there. Then I made Fomic Tinker come in. I wanted to kill myself. But, that's why you don't just throw everything at the window.
Yeah.
You have to start thinking about stuff. And then I made Britannia, which was like, okay, here's my concept. No GUIs, no pipes. Let's just do something a bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And originally, I also started throwing everything at the window, which is why we have day blooms. Had day blooms.
Yeah.
Sorry, MCG. But as I went on with Britannia, I started to notice that things I did would not really act how I wanted them to act. Like, ideally, you were not supposed to spam day blooms, but hey, people did it. So I had to start coming up with some ways to get around it. And I mean, everyone who's been on the FTB community around that time knows how much of a shit show me removing day blooms was.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's like a lot of people don't like if they let the cat out of the bag, they don't like wrangle it back in. But you actually you bit the bullet and you took them out. And it may have been controversial, but it was for the betterment of what your vision was, I'm assuming, right? It was like your vision of the mod.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, how do you I mean, that's a small amount of backlash, but how do you deal with that backlash? Like, is it hard?
I mean, back then it was a pain. I mean, when I removed day blooms was also coincidentally around the time I was doing an AMA on the FTB subreddit.
Okay.
And you're a mod. I'm sure you remember how much shit you had to delete.
Yeah. I mean, people get angry with their free content.
People get really pissed, and I also kind of let's say I angered 4chan, and
yeah,
that didn't result in very good things happening. Yeah, so in reality, I really didn't deal too well with the backlash back then. I mean, if you remember, I quit modding for a while because people were just so up in arms about the passive flowers. But that was a good learning experience. It's like you have to try and understand how people are going to react with what you do in there. You can't just you can't. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't make a mod from the point of view of I want this feature because I think this thing is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because it people talk about power creep. I think power creep is bullshit.
Okay.
There's no power creep. No one. I mean, power creep doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your machine from mod X produces 10 times as much energy than your machine from mod Y. That is completely inconsequential because any mod pack maker worth their salt is going to tune that off.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. As long as it's configurable, yeah.
What actually matters is that mods are effectively being designed in a here's a problem I had in my game. Damn, I really wish I had a solution. And they don't design an actual challenge for the player. They design the solution first.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have to actually make a challenge so they come up with some bullshit crafting recipe. And I'm not calling anyone out, right?
Yeah.
We have insane talent in our modding community, even the people who make mods in this solution type manner, as I'm saying here. It's just that people tend to develop in that manner, and as such, we end up with a lot of things that people are used to, let's say applied energistics.
Mm-hmm.
When Algo decided, okay, let's actually make applied energistics have a challenge for people to solve, as in the channels in there.
Yeah.
Everyone flipped out because they were used to applied energistics being a solution, not a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good
And
point.
I think
If it had
that's
just
the biggest issue.
been that in the beginning.
That's the biggest issue you have in modding is that you go from solution to solution. I feel like you are rarely challenged,
Mm-hmm.
other than when the mod pack makers specifically go in and tune things in a very awkward manner. But for more often than not, in a large kitchen sink pack, and of course I'm talking about the generic mainstream, not talking about heavily tuned packs, but in your generic pack, if you want a solution to something, there usually is one you can just go and grab. And it's why I think so many people don't particularly enjoy Britannia. They say, well, when I call it an automation mod, it's bullshit. People say Britannia is not an actual automation mod because it's so anti-automation. And that's why I think people are kind of poorly used to things, I guess. They have so many tools at their disposal that when a challenge actually comes, as in, say, Britannia automation, that actually requires some out-of-the-box thinking. I mean, I'm not saying Britannia automation is 300 IQ shit. It's not. It's really nothing special, but
Mm-hmm.
it is something different to what you usually have in terms of automation, just putting things together and crafting your machines and stuff. Britannia is designed to be anti-automation, but also, for you to automate it, it is actively pushing you back as you try to do what it wants you to do. Because if it wouldn't, that would not be a challenge. Okay, rant over. Carry on.
Well, my question has to do with that. Do you think that there's a lot of mods that do it wrong, and there's a lot of mod packs that do it wrong, but do you have any other ideas of mods or mod packs that have done it right to your vision? I know you have your own Vanilla Plus mod pack, which I think sort of follows that vision, but do you see other people in the community doing it, other mod makers?
I mean, I think the gold standard for this is, of course, yield the red power 2.
Good point. Yeah.
Azanor is an absolute fucking genius. Like, no, I don't think anyone gives enough credit to Azanor how good he is at game design. Like, not at all.
Yeah, I see him
Like,
as gold standard.
everyone gives Azanor a lot of credit for extreme polish and really good details and, all that. I don't see people praising how clever Flumcraft's design is.
And how he can iterate on it every time is the crazy thing too.
Oh, that's not what I'm talking about here. That's,
Yeah.
that's impressive as well. That's also impressive, for sure. But
No, but
For
yeah,
example-
they all flow
example,
together.
one of the biggest issues in modded in general, and this is an issue in Britannia too, is that power is usually unified. So you are not incentivized to make many things. You are incentivized to step up, as in make early game generator, move on to mid game generator, big reactor, boom, you're done. Not nowadays big reactor. I guess people are getting their stuff from Draconic reactors nowadays, but
Right.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You step up.
Yeah.
You usually have one generator. You might have a bit of auxiliary power here and there, but power is so easy to make, it's so easy to transport, that it being so unified might sound good, but in my opinion, it lowers the gameplay. You have fewer actual things to do. You might look at JEI and see 100 generators, but how many are you actually going to make? Not many. Because power is one unit. And Botania, this is one of the biggest issues in Botania. Because you grab a field of Endoflames, you have mana for life, you're done. You make a few Kekimuras, you're done. And Azanor, back in fucking 2012, was like, alright, cool, let's have multiple aspects. And it boggles my mind that between 2012 and 2019, no one has realized that he's right.
I just think they took it for granted. He hit it out of the park, and it didn't. I don't know. It also takes effort on the modders' part, doesn't it, to be able to do that? Like, because it's the easy way out to just have one sort of thing, like an energy source that you can just point to and say, that's it. That's what I'm going to power my whole mod off of. You know?
Oh, for sure. I mean, and it's a thing that initially feels good to players. I feel that things that feel good initially are usually not very good. Mm-hmm. Like, say you grab your OP Avaricious Sword or whatever. It feels good to have it because you just fuck everything up. But the amount of pleasure you get, at least in my opinion, of course, I know this varies a lot, and a lot of people enjoy actively being OP and power to them. You know, if that's what I enjoy, I mean, who am I to shit on them? They can go ahead and enjoy the game the way you like it. But in my opinion, I feel that people try to hit that dopamine rush of, yes, I just made this huge thing, I'm awesome. And then it just kind of fades away as they realize it doesn't actually have that much merit to it.
Yeah, I think that sort of is why people stop playing, right? Because like they hit that quote unquote end game ceiling, and then they just float around their world, and then there's no goal to go towards, you know?
Yeah, there's really nothing to do at that point, and that's why I feel that. I mean, here's the thing: there's a plethora of content you could do. If you look at a mod pack and you actually set yourself out to do everything in there, maybe you'd be fucking playing forever. But that's the thing, you don't feel a sense of need to do those things. And that's why I think Azanor hit it out of the park.
Yeah, definitely.
Azanor, here's the thing, Funcraft is... Funcraft didn't do it amazingly, in my opinion, because you always get the aspects in the same way. Yeah. You just make an item and then plop it down, you're good. But here's the thing, you have to go automate all sorts of different things to get your blocks running. And in having to automate all sorts of different things rather than just one power generator, that's a lot more content that's made. And I think people don't realize this, that you can make more content by having less content.
By making people think outside of the box, you're saying?
Yeah, like, if you provide a really easy answer to something, and you gate it behind a really complex crafting tree, you're going to get people doing the crafting tree to get that thing. That's fine, they will do it. But then once they have the thing, they have done it. If you don't provide the answer, but rather give them 2 or 3 challenges, they might go and do the challenges. It might take them less time or more time, but in my opinion, I feel that an actual player-driven challenge is always much more satisfying than craft this thing. Because that's the essence of Minecraft, really. You want to make a thing that's yours. You want to build your thing, pull back, and say, yeah, I made this. This is mine. I am proud of myself. And that's where the dopamine rush hits, you know? It's not when you take the item out of the crafting table. It's when you pull back and witness what you yourself have accomplished. That's why Minecraft is so great, and that's why I think grinding is kind of necessary as well. I think I'm going back on myself here, but if you could just go in and immediately make the thing, it would not feel so rewarding. There is a sweet spot of grind to player design. You have to hit that sweet spot. Because if it's all grind, sure, the dopamine rush is still going to hit, but they're not going to feel as fulfilled. And if it's all player design, it's going to feel a bit superfluous because they just went in and did it. There was no struggle, you know?
Do you... This might have something to do with this. It might be off base, but do you play RuneScape?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely,
Do,
yes.
do you play old
Yes.
school RuneScape or new school RuneScape?
Yes, old school. I
Okay,
wrote an essay on how the games are very similar once.
okay, thank you. Because like everything you describe, like being able to like feel like the gratification of like actually getting an item, that's very much what draws a lot of people to RuneScape. And
Absolutely.
and yeah, there's definitely a ton of grind. Like it's called Grindscape for a reason. But Minecraft, it sort of has that same thing where like you make your own path as long and if you can give players like enough of a dopamine rush to be able to keep going and push towards it, I think it's super rewarding. And that's the same in that game as well. And I didn't even know that about you, and I assumed it because I was like, this is very much the same.
Yeah, like in
Um,
RuneScape, let's say you start a new account and you're like, okay, cool. What's the first thing I should do? I'll probably go for Fairy Tale Part 1 so I can get Fairy Rings, you know?
mm-hmm,
Fair enough. So you start sketching out, okay, to do Fairy Tale, I need to do the Lost City. To the Lost City, I need to do this and that. I need to get 30. Is it 39 wood cutting? 36? It's one of the two. I
mm-hmm.
need to get wood cutting up. I need to do. Did we do the Nature Spirits? I think we did the Nature
It's
Spirits.
just like a tree, like a decision tree of craziness.
It just starts coming up with all
Yeah.
sorts of things you're going to do just for one goal.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing I, as a designer, can easily come to you and say, here's a bunch of stuff to do. It's the first one of me saying, I want to do Fairy Tale Part 1. Here's what I have to do, versus me coming to you and say, hey, do Fairy Tale Part 1.
Yeah.
It's completely different. Because one is a goal you set yourself. You are the one who says, I want to do this. And every step of the way, every small inconsequential quest or level you get is another little bit towards it. And that's why Minecraft is so great. Because you say, I want to build a crazy castle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every stack of cobblestone you get, every pick you make. Oh, my game just paused. Okay. Every pick you make, everything is all going to that major goal, right?
Yeah.
And in my opinion, a well-designed mod pack is one where there are no quests. I think quests are fundamentally poor design in Minecraft, in my opinion.
Do you think it goes
against them.
against the fabric of what Minecraft is? Is that what you feel like?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing against them. Nothing against people who enjoy them. I see why you enjoy them. I can understand that you might not be good at setting goals for yourself, and you'd rather have them set out for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I personally do actually prefer games where goals are set out for me if they're fun enough to do, of course. In Minecraft, I don't feel like they are. In Minecraft, I feel like you have a game with so much potential, with so much open-ended, player-driven design, and you throw it all away when you start giving the players goals.
Okay. I that's yeah, okay, so that's your crux. And it's interesting cuz you straddle the line of sort of like that it's almost a niche mod design and the popular mod design because you kind of carry it in the middle of both, right? Like you do you feel like you try to appeal to both sides?
Not at all. I mean, the fact I appeal to popular, I think, is just complete luck.
Do you think so?
I think it's luck.
You think it just lines up
Not,
with the popular like feelings of people?
here's the thing: Britannia would not be popular if it didn't have overpowered baubles. Period.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Britannia is included in a lot of mod packs because people enjoy the toys. Period. If
But
Britannia was exclusively and purely designed as an automation mod, from my perspective,
mm-hmm.
it would not be 99% as popular as it is. Because fundamentally, what I'm trying to create is niche. Like, you look at Quark downloads versus Quark oddities, and you'll immediately see a massive discrepancy.
But I think that you need, and I think you figured it out, maybe subconsciously or consciously, but you need sort of popular things in your mods to be able to get people to play those niche things. So if you didn't have those overpowered
Absolutely.
baubles, you wouldn't have people playing. You know, I'm sure that a lot of people use it just for the baubles, but some of those people went, "Oh, maybe I'll actually try out the mod," and then they actually like it. So
Fun
yeah,
thing,
like
fun
that.
thing. So when I removed day blooms, I got a mix of messages. You had the people going, "Oh, kill yourself! You're a terrible designer," etc., etc. And you had people like, "I am so happy you removed these
Mm-hmm.
because I was using them as a crutch, and now I managed to experience the rest of the mod, and it's amazing. Thank you."
Yeah, some people don't know what they actually want until it's until they actually.
Oh
use
yeah,
it.
nobody knows what they want.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want. No one. I'm not calling you people out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's in general. People do not know what they want. They know what they like. And
Right.
from what they like, they can extrapolate what they want. It is usually wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like Henry Ford. What do you want? Faster horses. You know,
Yeah.
and then they came up with cars like, holy shit, this is better. You have to have a vision, and you have to sting to your vision. And if your vision is good enough, you are going to make people realize that you made what they wanted, even though they didn't even want it.
Yeah. Do you ever have any goals of making a game?
Yes, yeah, I
Okay.
want. I have multiple designs for it.
Okay, that's awesome. Because I think not that your talent is wasted. I just think that you could do so much in like a free environment like that. Like Minecraft is pretty freeing, but I think you could do something that could break a lot of molds.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I'm glad that you said you are, because yeah, there's only been, I think, there's like red power is eventually going to be a thing, maybe. Like there's not a lot of modders that have gone in to do their own thing. So Computer Craft guy made his own
I
mod.
I can name quite a few. I mean, you have Dan, of course. You name him.
Yeah,
You have Elpec. You
yeah.
have.
There's the guy that
God,
made
what was-
Vintage Craft. He has his own mod. There's own.
I do not know. I don't know what that mod is actually.
Oh, I'll show you
I'm
later. He
sorry.
has his own. It's
Okay.
like kind of like a Minecraft clone, but it has a lot more adventure elements. The Hypixel guys make their own game.
Yes. Oh, I think I know what it is. I think is it Vintage Story?
Yes, Vintage Story. Yes.
Okay, I know what it is then. Okay.
Yeah.
Elucent has been making a bunch of different mini games here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Cuts, TDIT Cuts makes games.
That's cool. Yeah, I didn't know some of those.
I can list a bunch of people.
Well, that's good. I like that Minecraft can be a stepping stone for people. It doesn't have to be the end all be all.
King B Dogs. King B Dogs.
Oh, true. Yeah, Aether guy. Yeah, I hope to have him on sometime soon. It's another Aether is another mod that sort of shares a lot of design sensibilities with like real video games.
Yeah. You got Spiteful Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can just list a bunch of them.
Well, that's
terrible.
good. That's good. No, I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that, because I don't know, like I want to see people thrive outside of it as well as in it, and and I'm glad to hear that you're also doing it as well. But that was basically what I wanted to have you on for. Like I'm so interested in your game design thing, aesthetic that you have. But I appreciate you being on. Do you have any final comments? Do you have anything you're working on right now that you can share?
Yeah, I can actually pull up my to-do list. I'm currently working on a Minecraft Underground revamp. I have been for the last few Quark updates.
Ooh, cool. I've seen some screenshots.
Yeah, I have a new mob planned and some other stuff to throw in there. Because Quark already has a lot of stuff in the underground. Like it's you got biomes, you got stalactites, stalagmites, you got new mobs, you got a new villager and a bunch of other stuff, new dungeons. I already put a lot in there, but I want to put some more. I want Quark to be fundamentally a Minecraft Underground update, and as well as all of the other stuff it is.
Right. Yeah.
It's almost at 200 features.
That's crazy.
It's at 175 plus the 5 in oddities.
That is insane. That mod was just like a fun mod for you at one point, right? Like it was just a throwaway thing, it seemed like.
It was never a throwaway. It's just like I enjoy making small things here and there, just a bunch of small things.
Yeah.
If you look at Britannia, it's really a collection of small things. There are no massive interconnected mechanics other than the mana system.
Mm-hmm.
I have Corporea. Corporea is pretty complex, but yeah. But ultimately, actually, I want to talk a bit about Quark oddities. Can I talk a bit about Quark oddities?
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you seen how the pipes in Quark oddities work?
I'll admit I haven't. No.
You haven't. Okay, so I designed these as the dumbest pipes ever.
Okay.
I think someone's calling you.
No, I have a school next door to me.
Oh, oof.
It's their bell.
So I designed Quark oddities pipes as the dumbest pipes you'll ever use. That was done on purpose. So usually when you see people design pipes, they try to solve issues with other pipes.
Yes.
I challenge myself to do the absolute opposite. I want to create as many issues as possible. I want these pipes to be a fucking pain in the ass to use.
Okay.
And you know what? People love the bloody things. Like, people who have actually used them, which not a lot of people, but the people who have used them and have a chance to try them out and just actually use them in a isolated scenario, I've had unanimous praise for them.
Okay.
So here's how these things work.
Yeah, I'm interested now.
They always connect to any adjacent pipes. There is no colors, no multi-block support.
Okay.
There is no filters. It's one pipe block. There are no other types of pipes.
Okay.
It's just the pipe. You put things in a pipe with a hopper or a dropper or any other thing you have that interacts with inventories.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So the pipe has passing rules. So when an item reaches an intersection, I'd say it has a 6-way intersection, right? So you have all the faces. It's always going to go down. If it can go down, it'll always go down. Next, if it has the left, right, and front, it'll always go forwards. It'll not turn if it has a chance to go forwards. If it has sides and up, it'll randomly split between one of the two sides. It'll only go up if up is the only valid way to go.
Next, so you're using the world as rules instead of...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can also disable a pipe with a redstone. You can detect if there's items in a pipe with a comparator. And you can move the pipes with pistons and keep the items inside.
Oh my God. I'm looking at it on your website right now. Dude, that's awesome.
That's the whole thing. It is as simple
reminds me of
humanly
Buildcraft.
possible.
Buildcraft pipes back in the beginning.
It is even more rudimentary than Buildcraft.
Yeah, you like drilled it down to like the bare minimum.
I went to the absolute bare base. And how are you gonna make a filter? Mate, you just make a hopper filter. They exist.
Yeah.
They're not hard to do at all. With pipes, you can make them with only one hopper. You only do one copy of each item. You can just fill it with sticks or whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. And here's the thing. Everyone who's used these things have said these are so much fun to tinker around with. Like, they are absolutely not efficient in the slightest. Like, at all. Like, compare these things to the functionality of a modern, like, Ender IO pipe or thermodynamics. These things are fucking useless. But that's I think what makes them special. Because you have to rack your brain around them and go around the rules. And I think those pipes, they are the crux of my design. If you want to explain to someone how my design works, you show them those pipes.
Well, yeah, you hand people a tool and you say, work with it. Yeah.
That's but it's
awesome.
A tool that I know is powerful, but you have to know how to use it.
That's awesome. I'm going to now go download this and play with it because I want to have some footage for this, but I'm going to have some fun making some crazy contraptions for this.
Quark pipes are a lot of fun. Like you said yourself, able to automate. They can do it. They could basically do anything your more normal pipes do.
Yeah.
They just take up a lot of space, and you have to rack your brain around these things. But they can do it.
Well,
people forget about vanilla mechanics a lot.
Well, that's what I was saying. You sort of like people immediately go, well, how do I do this? What mod feature do I need to do this? And you just said use a vanilla feature, like use a hopper.
Can I go into another rant? Can I make this a real long interview or just me ranting? Is that fine?
Go ahead.
Is that allowed?
Yeah,
Can I make
course.
your editing job awful?
Go ahead.
I hate Wyla.
What? Really?
Yes.
Okay. Love you, Professor Mobius, but all right.
I love you too, Professor Mobius. You're amazing.
Shout out.
I hate Wyla.
Okay.
Not because of what Wyla is. Wyla is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the psychology it creates in players.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
It means that mod packs are distilled to create the thing. Bonus points if you use different things from different mods.
Oh, okay. So you don't like differentiating between different mods?
I don't. I absolutely hate that.
Okay.
I hate that the only way you can actually create an engaging experience is to make players look at different names on a tag and say, ha, fucking fooled you, mod authors. No, you didn't.
Okay. So you do you think it takes away a lot of some of the magic of... Because, yeah, like, thinking about it, playing back before Wayla, it didn't really matter what you were using, and sometimes you didn't even know what you were using. You were just using a tool, right?
That's the thing. I think, like, you should feel like you're outsmarting the developer.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if the most engaging thing is that you feel like you're outsmarting the developer. You never are. You're never outsmarting the developer. I mean, sometimes you might be, but most of the time you're not outsmarting the developer.
Yeah. Most
of the time it's a thing the developer knew you were going to do. If it's a good developer, of course. Like, they knew you were going to put this and that together. Like, let's say it's in the card game, right? And you have a card that gives your shit more power than you have a card that has a creature deal damage equal to its power. That's a combo.
Yeah.
You play that off and you think, hell yeah, I came up with a cool combo. You didn't come up with that combo yourself, mate. The developers put it there. But you feel good because you did. You feel good because you did.
Yep.
And that's what happens in modded. It's like you use a thing from mod X and a thing from mod Y, and you feel good because you came up with a thing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that sucks because it shows the mods are terribly designed. Because if the mods were well designed, you would not have to come up with something else from a different mod to feel good about whatever you did.
So it should be self-contained, you think?
I think the mods should be well designed enough that is not necessary.
Yeah.
And I feel like mod packs should also give you things from different mods all the time. And this goes against what I just said. But if you're constantly receiving things from different mods, you have no option but to put them together. When you make this such clear distinction between this is mod X, this is mod Y, that's when you start to break things. You break the immersion, you break the fourth wall, you break the feeling of playing something cohesive. And it feels good, but it highlights that the individual parts aren't exactly all that great, you know?
That's really weird, and I understand what you're saying, and that's why it's weird, because I never really had thought about it that way. I didn't think that something so innocuous could I guess it's more just an indicator of a problem. It's not really cause the problem.
Oh yeah, I mean, WoW
yeah.
is not a problem.
Yeah,
and WoW is great, as I said. But I think when you put it there, and when you see people, I mean, I'm just going back on myself, really. When you see people only being proud of mixing mods,
mm-hmm.
that shows the fundamental issue that the mods themselves are not very interesting.
Huh.
Anyway, there's a lot of things I can go on about the modding community that I try to change myself.
That you would try to change? Okay, well, for the sake of time, have you said your number one yet? If you have, go to number two. But I would like to hear one more. What would you do to change?
Okay, let me come up with one more thing real quick. I think if I was designing a mod pack,
mm-hmm.
which I am, by the way, I have been for a long time, but I'm always like, okay, let's find one more quirk feature. One more quirk feature, I never get to it. But I have been for a long time. It should be, here's a canvas. Here's Minecraft as it is. Excuse me, I've drank too much water. Here's Minecraft as it is. Oh, and you're gonna have a fucking field day editing this audio. Because my volume's all over the place.
It's all good.
Here's Minecraft as it is. And here's a bunch of stuff you might want to do. Like, I give the player a brochure of cool stuff, and I just throw them into the world, like normal Minecraft. No quests, no indicators, just go on. I make sure that JI is helpful enough, as in I add anything that is acquired through a weird means. I make sure to have a little note on JI on how you get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I tie everything together in a way that makes sense, but is not linear. As it's exactly how RuneScape works, right? You set yourself up of, okay, I want to make a house, and I need this block and that block. Okay, to get this block, I need this tool, and to get this, I need this item, and so on and so forth. The goals are always set by yourself. And I feel that when you make that mod pack, most people are not going to experience the full breadth of content. But that's fine. Because the content they do experience is worthwhile for them. It gives them rewards that they want. It doesn't give them the you finished thing that people go for. Because when you think about it, when you play a mod pack nowadays, the thing you are going for is the finish line. And that reduces a lot of the game, in my opinion. So the ideal mod pack should not have a finish line. It should be open-ended as vanilla is. It should give players challenges, as in, well, you're going to do a lot of this thing, so you might want to come up with a way to automate it. Okay, well, this block can probably help you automate it. How do you get it? Oh, you got to trade with that villager, and so on and so forth. And everything in that mod pack should be acquired in a different manner. There should not be a single item, or a single furnace or block or whatever system, that can produce a very wide breadth of resources. You should always be needing to come up with different things. By the way, here's an extra for you. Did you know the enchanting table is absolutely brilliant design?
The randomization, you mean, along with it?
Nope. The
Or
fact,
the lapis part?
not at all.
Okay, then
The
what?
enchanting table is a brilliant design because it causes players to build a room around it.
Okay, yeah, with the bookshelves. Yeah, I agree.
And he also the absolute gold star of this is the Formcraft Infusion altar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to build an entire room and it can be destroyed at any moment,
No, you don't have to build a room. You don't.
but
You
people
can just
do.
put it in the middle of nowhere if you want to. It's fine. No, you're not punished
Uh-huh.
for putting the infusion altar in the middle of nowhere. There is no rule that says you have to build a room at
But,
all.
but people do.
But people want to.
Yeah.
That's why it's so brilliant. They want to do it. And that's what I think the ideal mod pack should be. It's a bunch of goals people want to go to, a spider web of steps to get there, and each of those steps should be varied from the others, and should ideally introduce a new mechanic or block or something players would want to build a room around it.
So it's like a mod pack of like nudges of of just small nudges to point people in the right direction, but not exactly
Yep.
giving them the full
Yep.
do this.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, good luck on that. That seems like a
Thank
hard.
you.
That
I'm
seems like
gonna
a
need it.
really
Yeah, I'm gonna
hard
need it.
undertaking. But that seemes like a really good note to end on. I'm excited for everything. I'll leave a link for your Patreon in the description. You have one Patreon, right?
I have one Patreon, but
Okay.
if you go there, you can get fancy stuff from my mods. If you like Britannia, you get a little flower in your head. If you
Yeah.
like
Okay.
Quark, you get exclusive emotes, and you get access to a special server, a special room on my Discord server. So
There you go.
give me
Uh,
money.
Isn't that the end goal of all this in the end? But thank you so much for being on. It was great to talk to you. It was a very unique interview, and I like that. So
Thank you for having me.
three, two, one. Oh fuck! Ah! I hit the wrong keybind.
Good job.
Thank you, thank you.